Darby Allin lights Jack Perry on fire. MJF returns, and because of Dirty Dom, Spliff Morgan is still your new women's world champion. This is the Dangerous Jobbers podcast.
People have been asking me to be the best in the world. Why, Eddie? Why? I'm better than you.
My eyes are red. I was in the back smoking a joint with their dad.
You know it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am your boy Stevie Jobber.
And I'm your boy, Dangerous Duke.
And welcome back to the Dangerous Jobbers podcast, putting wrestling on over one podcast at a time.
Yes, sir.
And this is formally a review. If you're joining us for the very first time, if you happen to like this video 5 minutes from now, maybe think about hitting the like button or even subscribing if it's really that good. We would really appreciate it. Before we move any further, this really is a review of Double or Nothing and King and Queen of the Ring, with a little bit of NXT sprinkled in the middle. And I'm going to hand it to Duke to start off the King and the Queen results, where the big boys play. Duke, tell us all about it.
Well, like you said, this is where the big boys play, and we're kicking it right off with the big boys because we're going from main event all the way down to the first match. With that first match, well, technically the main event being Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul for only the WWE Championship. And quite honestly, I was a little peeved that they took the U.S. title off of there. But hey, you know, it happens. You knew either way, they can't take the belt off both of them. And for what it's worth, for only one title being defended, I think they did a very good job with this match. I was pleasantly entertained, even more surprised at how good it was. Tying in some loose ends here with, you know, the brass knuckles. Is he going to use them? Is he not going to use them? Logan getting in the announcer's face. Corey Graves actually stepping up and getting a little contact in there at some point. I don't know if you guys noticed that or not, but that was a nice little Easter egg Hunter happened to throw in there for us. Great spots in the match, you know, Cody Cutter off the top, and then you got the frog splash from inside the ring to outside the ring, courtesy of the athletic freak that is Logan Paul. And the ending result, I don't think was too much of a surprise. As we all know, Cody Rhodes successfully defended and retained the WWE Universal title. And Stevie, I just hyped this match up. I loved it. I'm pretty sure you know I loved it, but I want to know, what did you think?
I thought it was a great showing by Logan Paul as well. He had his classic frog splash spot. I think he did some amazing work. I mean, it was what it was. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. Cody finished it off. He gave him 3 crossroads at the end. I thought that was very honorable for Logan to go down to 3 of them instead of 1 of them. I think they both put on a much, wow, I don't want to say both of them, but I think Logan Paul lived up to the hype that he was supposed to live up to, and they put him in a really good position. He had some spots where he had some good reversals on Cody that people don't normally have. And it did seem competitive until the cheating started. I like the Michael Cole thread of not using the brass knucks and staying true to your word. And the rumors that might come out of him about to beat up Michael Cole and what that could mean in the future if that continues to be a story. I thought everything worked well together, and we got the result we knew we were going to get. I think it does good business for both, man. I don't know. Logan Paul continues to be Logan Paul and perform at the highest level, so I just wonder what's next for him.
Yeah, so do I. I think no matter what, Logan doesn't come out of this a loser either way. But to your point of competing at the highest level, a man who has been on the highest level of his career so far, Gunther is now our king of the ring, defeating Randy Orton in a great storytelling match, I will say. I think the story that they both told was phenomenal. You know, Randy, one of the best storytellers of all time, probably the best of our generation. And then Gunther, you know, this guy on a white hot streak, longest reigning Intercontinental Champion, did a good job at breaking down Randy in the match, whether it was the leg or the back or the knee. They did phenomenal with this, and now we know at SummerSlam we are getting Gunther challenging for the World Heavyweight title. Now, is it going to be Drew? Is it going to be Damian? Who knows who it's going to be? But we know for sure one half of the match is set, and that is Gunther competing for the World Heavyweight title.
Yeah. So Gunther versus Randy was the match I was looking forward to the most. The King of the Queen of the Ring. I knew that was gonna be the classic wrestling match. I knew that was gonna be uh, where they aim to give you the best work of art.
Mm-hmm.
So I made sure to zero in on this match specifically more than the others, and they absolutely delivered. I think it was pretty, not to be over the top, but like masterful how they almost, not even almost, they made Randy really on the same level as Gunther the whole match
Mm-hmm.
in damn near every way possible. And I think it did wonders. I love these international crowds now. It seemed when Randy went to do that first RKO, everyone jumped to their feet before he got it. You know, it was a reversal, but
Mm-hmm.
how fast everyone was ready to see it really spoke to the energy of the crowd. Again, this was just them doing exactly what they were supposed to do. They put everything mattered. That's Gunther. That's Randy all day.
Mm-hmm.
Randy took some beatings in there, right? Like you said, to the leg, to the back. Gunther did exactly what Gunther does, and Randy showed us why he's Randy still. And of course, in the end, the finish, which is very debatable, and I wonder how they're going to run that story back or if that was intentional. With Gunther beating Randy, and then Hunter saying later that it does stand, but he does recognize the error and he does believe everyone involved would want to run it back. I don't really know where that leads itself, but it is an interesting finish to what otherwise was a fantastic match.
Mm-hmm.
Inevitably, though, Gunther becomes King of the Ring, and he's headed towards Damian Priest. Whether it'll be Damian or Drew, I I almost can't tell you. I want to say it's going to be Damian. I would believe that the showing of faith Damian talked about becoming champion wouldn't be thrown to the wayside to be a transitional champion to Drew
Mm-hmm.
ahead of CM Punk. I believe they could do that without a title. I believe it's probably better if they do. And so I'm pretty sure that somehow will tie its way into Damian beating Drew uh, down the line and it being Damian versus Gunther. Unfortunately, I don't see a situation where Gunther challenges for the world title and does not win.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Damian will have had it for uh, what is that, 4 or 5 months?
Yeah. Figure what? April, May, June, July, about 4 months. Yeah, 4 or 5 months, give or take.
So, unfortunately for him, I feel like that'll be the end. But I think I feel that way about the other one too when we get to that. So,
Yeah, I mean, not a
uh,
terrible reign.
yeah, it just has a lot of questions going forward as far as Damien.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but ultimately, it was it's great to hear King Gunther and the way he's carrying the title, and it just fits. So great decision, great match, great performance, great stuff all
Mhm.
around, man.
Yeah, I have no gripes with it. Something that was a little more, um, I don't want to say lackluster. Lackluster is not the right word here. A little more predictable, I would think, for the masses. The Queen of the Ring between Nia Jax and Lyra Valkyria, and I'll be honest, this match kind of put me to sleep a little bit. Now, I don't know if it's because the match was short. All the Queen of the Ring matches have been relatively short. But however, with that being said, of the match kind of put me to sleep. It served its purpose, making Nia Jax look as dominant as she needs to look, just running roughshod through everybody now that mommy is on the shelf. And they accomplished what they set out to do, is make her look strong. And in doing so, we have a new Queen of the Ring, Nia Jax, who, as it stands right now, is probably going after Bayley at SummerSlam.
Yeah, it's for the respective titles, so she would be going after Bailey because she's SmackDown now,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to predict the same thing twice, but given that there's at least, what is it, the end of May now?
Yes.
It's going to be in what, July, August.
Mm-hmm.
Given that there's 2 months almost to build this thing, like a month or 2 months, I could easily see a way where it could be over for Bailey as well if they booked it a certain sort of way that I would book it. But who's to say that's what's going to happen? I would be remiss if Nia was to win the Queen of the Ring, make it all the way to SummerSlam, and not beat Bailey. I feel like it doesn't do a lot of. I feel like it feels too much like old times to bring her to the top of the mountain for a second time this year, only to fall short as enhancement for the current champion.
Yeah.
That would start to feel a little weird, for it being twice in the same year to build you all the way up to break you all the way down. That being said, phenomenal win happened how it was supposed to happen. I do feel like it was fast. I do feel like it was a squash, but I feel like it was what it was supposed to be because that's Nia Jax.
Mm-hmm.
You're not supposed to get in there and have a good one.
No, it's
You're
it's
supposed to go
it's
down.
yeah. You got to go down and go down hard. And
That being said, though, before we move on, Lyra took a great finish. I don't know who exactly came up with that, but it looked devastating. It
yeah,
definitely looked like he died. And
yeah.
the way she sat, Yokozuna style with the arms crossed, chef's kiss.
Stone Cold Kulo right to the chest.
Boom.
I,
Annihilator.
I'm struggling to breathe just thinking about it. But moving on to other things we have to discuss, we have the triple threat match for the WWE Intercontinental title. And man, was I close to getting the prediction on how this match was going to end. Like, I was very, very close. I'm pretty sure I called the Blue Thunder Bomb, but I said, I don't think he can hit it.
Mm-hmm.
And he hit it on the person I said, I don't think he can hit it on.
Yeah, I think you were. I think you were spot on with that. I think they had a great German spot for Gable, to hype him up as well. And as
Mm-hmm.
we had both predicted, my man Bronson took the hit,
Yeah.
after Gable had it in the bag, and Otis did not deliver where Otis was supposed to deliver at, costing him the match. So Sammy gets to say he won, keep the
Mm-hmm.
belt, not beat Gable, and Gable still gets to blame somebody else for falling short. I am a little bit disappointed that it seems like we're gonna get Chad and Otis, instead of Chad and Sammy. I feel like he'll get sidetracked with Otis and then have to get back on the track of Sami Zayn. If this is a derailment until SummerSlam, I don't know.
Yeah,
But I
because
just hope we don't fall too short and we get a character change with no character payoff.
well, I feel like there's gonna be some kind of payoff for all parties here because, as we know, Sammy won at the chagrin of Otis not helping when he should have helped. That's your mentor. You got to help your mentor sometimes. But following up with that on Monday Night Raw,
Oh,
we did see that Otis was going to have to get some consequences, and that consequences was in the form of, I can't believe I'm saying this in 2024, but we were going to see a grown man get a potential spanking with a belt. And Maxine Dupree, she took them 3 brain cells she has left and she saved her man. She saved her man. And I'll be quite honest with you. I don't know if it was just like, man, we can't see this. Like, no, like, we really gonna see a grown man get spanked with a belt on live TV? And then Maxine came in with the save. And I'll be honest with you. Yes, Maxine, you do your shit. You save your man. So I think what will happen here is we'll get the turn of potentially having Otis and Gable at some point, but it'll be because of Maxine.
mm.
And it'll build Maxine up even more too, because I think Maxine will do something that Chad will just despise, and then Otis will come to her defense. I think that's how that plays out, because at the end of the day, all 3 of them get built up that way. The only odd man out is Tozawa, but we know Tozawa is the odd man.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I think you're spot on. And after all these years, I know better than to argue with one of your great ideas. I think that's exactly how it should happen. I don't have anything to add to that. I will say, uh, after that, I do hope, after the implosion of Alpha Academy, which is what we're approaching, Chad will unite with a couple amateur wrestlers by the name of the Creed brothers who are doing jobbing. Shout
Yeah.
out to the jobbers.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be doing they'll be doing some major jobbing. I think they just lost to AOP or somebody.
Yep.
So hopefully he'll get with them and we can kind of course correct from there after Otis gets a good rub. Um, and maybe we can realign things for a later date for Sammy and Chad to just be a little more dominant. But that's really all I got on that. It's great storytelling. I'm gonna let them cook. It is unfortunate.
Well, you mentioned some realigning, and something that's been needing some realignment is this feud between Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan. It's been a little out there. Liv is over here talking to this person. She's getting out of a car with this person. She's having bandanas in her pocket that nobody knows the meaning of. And this has all been leading up to this match at King and Queen of the Ring between her and Becky. Now, the match itself was a fairly decent match, I would say. Nothing super crazy to ride home about here. It was a serviceable match. It's a little tomfoolery got involved with a certain member of a Judgment Day that happens to be dirty. And it looks like he fumbled, and we have us a new women's champion in the form of Liv Morgan. However, fast forward 48 hours, We get a rematch in a steel cage. No outside interferences, no nothing. And boy, were we wrong. We got Dirty Dom out there. We got Finn. We got JD the Funko Pop. We got Braun Strowman of all people. Where the hell is Braun coming out in this women's title match? I don't know, but a lot of tomfoolery takes place. A lot of people going flying left and right. Next thing you know, Dirty Dom goes flying into a cage door, hitting Becky upside the head, and gets Liv the chance to canoodle her way out the ring, finally beat Becky Lynch and retain her title. And in the closing moments of the show that they didn't air on TV, but they aired on X, Dirty Dom gets smooched on by Spliff Morgan. Are you that in shock?
I feel like that'll really get under your skin. That one, Duke.
Yeah. In the immortal words of Dolph Ziggler, should have been me. But I digress.
So to tackle this whole thing, I would just my biggest thing to remember is I think Dom is absolutely lying. I don't think a lick of this is a real agenda. I think this is playing between the two of them. I think he's going out there in moments when Becky Lynch has it all together to help throw her off and painting the perfect situation for Liv to capitalize. And through her seductive ways, she has stolen Dom from Mommy under Judgment Day's nose. Because it just seems like every moment where Becky Lynch has it under control, here comes Dom to mess it up. And I think even when you pay attention to the end of that match, Liv is on her way out for a quick second there. And Dom's kind of not doing anything while Strowman is running around. And then, of course, when Becky's there, he gets hit into the door. I just don't believe that Dom isn't in on this. And I mean, he could have taken the kiss reluctantly, but she's also been seen talking to other Judgment Day members, but they always seem to be arguing. I don't see Dom ever arguing with Liv Morgan. I just see him leaving out of rooms with her. And as much as he says he's making it right and this, and that, it seems like he'd be best to just stay out of it. And it seems like everyone knows that but him. So I just don't see a situation where this doesn't either catch up to the Judgment Day or lead to Rhea coming back and forgiving Dom and understanding that he was just so passionate about Mommy. He kept trying to get involved, and it just ended in spoils because she wasn't around. And her for coming back, forgiving him, and them going after Liv, and it turning out that Dom was with Liv all along. It just feels very...
You don't think.
I just don't believe that these things are coincidental.
Do you really believe Dirty Dom would be that dirty?
I mean, I expect these things from JD McDonough, but not Dom. Dom only messes up to help the Judgment Day, not to hurt them. And this just feels really on the nose.
I mean, you never know. There could be another member that might have his own agenda in this somewhere. You know, might not be JD, might not be Dom, but she hasn't argued or been seen with a certain person yet. I don't know. Some people like to be on demon time, but maybe somebody else has their own agenda at some point. But who knows?
I mean, who knows? Who knows? That's looming
Yeah,
in the background too.
yeah, it could be. It could be a little something to keep your eye on there. But I think as far as King and Queen of the Ring go, all in all, matches were fairly solid. The show was fairly good. And to my point, like I said in a previous video, I feel like this was probably one of the better Saudi shows they've done. It might be the best one that they've done.
It could have. It could be. It could be. They've been doing these international shows really well. I mean, we've probably only watched the last two Saudi shows, but hey,
Yeah. Who
um,
else? Who's watched more?
and most of those Saudi shows were old people getting hurt. So
Yeah.
these were definitely the better two.
But I think that's pretty much all I have on the main roster stuff. I think now that might be a good time to jump to NXT and see some of the things that have been happening.
Yeah, I just want to say NXT and what may have been 24 hours, some could say the past 6 months, some could say the past 3, 4, 5 months. NXT seems to have become must see TV, and that all seemed to culminate just almost 24 hours ago as we're recording this, when Sexy Red, Jordan Grace, and Ethan Page all appeared in the span of 2 hours on Shawn Michaels' development show, which I think adds a much new perspective on NXT because it's starting to feel like it's not just for development.
You saying
Uh,
that again?
it's starting to feel
Mm-hmm.
like NXT is not just for development.
Thank you.
And you know, I can rant and rave about how great NXT is and who my picks are this year. Jada Parker. Um, they've got widespread talent that are doing very well, very well. But to add to that, they're now acquiring, and you'll see it on the main roster, but now more in NXT is happening. More hip hop, more culture, more pop culture. You know, they are aimed towards more 18 to 20 whatever demographic, and Sexy Red happens to fit right in there. And she also happens to be, and as we're finding out more than ever, there's a lot of wrestling fans that are women that we were not expecting.
Yeah.
And Sexy Red happens to be one of them. I've been seeing her on X, keep tabs on NXT for a minute, and
Mm-hmm.
she showed up on NXT this week, which I thought, okay, cool. That's going to be a segment. That'll be whatever. She introduces the Women's North American Championship. Dope. That's cool. Whatever. She was in a full body suit. They let her twerk. That was a little shocking, I will admit. Um,
Go ahead, Sean.
yeah, go ahead, Sean. You know, pro the culture. I'll let you twerk, but wear a full body suit. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
Sexy Red twerk in WWE is the most attitude era stuff I've seen, and I'm in it. I felt like I was watching TNA with RVD for a minute. Um, if you know, you know. But yeah, so Sexy represents the North American Women's Championship. I'll try and run through this because we're at a half hour. Uh, she presents the North American Championship. She gets involved in that segment a little because somebody comes out, tries to take the belt. Then Michin shows up. I don't know that Michin is going to be the next North American Women's Championship, but who knows? It seems like the OC now is in NXT. We'll get to that later. Um, she's involved in that segment. They move on. Sexy Red announces that she's hosting NXT Battleground in Vegas. So now there's going to be more Sexy Red twerking on NXT TV more consistently.
Again, not mad. I
Again,
didn't know.
not mad. Just
full
very
disclosure. Full disclosure, I did not know who Sexy Red was before NXT. Having seen what she can do and the assets that she provides to NXT, I am not upset with this in the slightest. Go ahead and do your thing.
Yeah, she's definitely got many talents. So later in the night, I'm giving the whole Sexy Red summary because there's more important things to get to. Later in the night, she also happens to accompany Trick Williams and I don't want to say Leon Slater, right? Javante Davis? No.
Gervonta Davis is the boxer.
I know, but his name is like Javon. Javon Evans. Javon Evans, I believe his name is. Who's like a fast rising star in NXT currently. She accompanies him and Trick to the ring so she can twerk to whoop that trick, which I also felt was inevitable.
Hey, again, not mad.
And neither was Booker T or Trick. If you get a good shot on his face when Sexy Red did that split twerk. Just entertaining stuff, man. Just entertaining and shocking. That it felt like '96 again. I was like, what am I seeing here, man?
Some good shit.
But I mean, who was the kings of '96 and '97? Anyway, Sexy Red had a great showing somewhere in that women's division. They presented Roxanne Perez with who she would be facing at NXT Battleground, that being the TNA Knockouts Women's Champion, the Juggernaut, Jordan Grace. Very surprising. Very surprising. Where did this come from? Jordan Grace is going one-on-one with Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's Championship at Battleground in Vegas, hosted by Sexy Red. And I don't know. I don't know because the word on the street is that this won't be the only crossover and that some WWE talent may be coming over to TNA. And I feel like we already expected an interbrand thing. But that being said, I gotta be honest, I kind of want Jordan Grace to win.
Again, shut up and take my money because damn, this is amazing. Like,
I mean, Sean, round of applause, man. You have been doing wow. You were he is challenging Triple H for Booker of the Year here.
He definitely is.
He's on a roll.
I mean, he's already stomping a mud hole in TNA's booking as it is. He's stomping MLW. No offense to these promotions, but he's stomping their booking right now on his own. Sean is coming. Sean is out there for blood.
Oh yeah, Sean.
He said we are not. We are not development. We are this. We are doing it, and we are getting everything we can out of this.
Yeah, sooner or later they're gonna have to include Sean as like a legitimate brand. Because as athletic as the young crop of people are, and as killer as the moments are becoming, I mean, who knows what that brand could turn into when taken seriously? And who better to take it seriously than the other half of DX? You know what I mean? It's only a matter of time. That being said, the piece de resistance has got to be the end of the night after all of the twerking and all of the guest appearances and all of the title reveals and Booker T going crazy and the whooping the tricks and all of that good stuff. Lash Legend appeared to ask Trick Williams who, or rather, has he been the one attacking people, notably Noam Dar from the Metaphor. And before Trick can even answer, the lights go out. As the lights go out and they come back on, Sexy Red is gone. No more twerking the rest of the night. Devastating. Javon Evans is gone. No more Javon. No more opponents. The only people in the ring, at least that I can see, are Lash Legend and Trick Williams. And then out of nowhere, blasting him from behind, knocking over Lash Legend, someone in some buttoned up short sleeve and khaki pants with some nice haircut and huge biceps start beating down Trick Williams. And I'm trying to, who is that? And then he turns around and I go, is that Ethan Page? And sure enough, Ethan Page is beating down Trick Williams on NXT.
Where the hell?
And in real time, the announcer goes, "Hey, that's Ethan Page. He's from AE." And then, of course, Booker T cuts him off as Ethan Page goes to the camera, so we don't get the full acknowledgement. And he screams all ego. So I guess full moniker comes over to TNA, all ego Ethan Page. And he looks at the camera and he goes, "Whoop that trick. I'm about to." And then runs full speed into the turnbuckle, kneeing Trick Williams in the face. Show goes off with Ethan Page, formerly from AEW, surprise showing in NXT, and I immediately go, "Wow, welcome to the main event scene, Ethan Page. How easy was that?"
Yeah. I know how high you've been on Ethan Page since pretty much the start of him in AEW. You've done your due diligence, you've done your homework, you've been an Ethan Page guy. And to see somebody that you have been so high on come from AEW over to the main event scene of the WWE on their platform, it's exciting to see what can happen with them, because with the WWE system and the way they promote and the way they market, that all ego gimmick has money written all over it if it's done the right way. The potential is like limitless.
I think that's my favorite part about it, is that seeing these AEW guys that were all great, because all the AEW guys are great. I've never said they weren't.
Yeah.
I've always argued that the problem was you can't showcase all of these guys to the level they should be showcased at, because there's just too many people. And one of the people that always got caught up was Ethan Page.
Yeah, he got lost in the shuffle.
And he felt like, to those that pay more attention to the indies and know TNA, he felt like a Christian to me. Like there was so much potential there, but until you put him in the position to win, you would never really get to see it. So the moment he comes in and attacks Trick Williams and gets that response, and the crowd is immediately chanting Ethan Page, you just get that effect of Christian the first night in TNA. Like, this is what I waited for. This is what I knew he could be if given the chance. So I just hope he's given the chance. It's just great to see him up on that platform, given a shot at a guy with a world championship and the range to just see what he can do.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think there's great potential here for him.
But moving from a guy that was in AEW to AEW, I should get to some of the bigger Double or Nothing results, or just some of the highlights, the moments that they created. They really have been realigning themselves, and as muddy as the Young Bucks story has been, it is resulting in, if nothing else, moments. That being said, the first moment, of Double or Nothing I want to talk about. Probably one of the bigger ones for everyone else. For me, just another Darby moment because every other day Darby is doing something he just should not be doing that is incredibly dangerous. But this time it is do unto others instead of doing unto yourself, because
Yes.
as Jack Perry went backstage to grab Tony Khan and throw him onto the stage, Darby Allin in a thumbtack mask with a flamethrower lit Jack Perry on fire, who I'll admit kind of gave it away by being very suddenly oily for no reason. Um, but great spot altogether. Um, they had a fantastic match as you knew they were going to. And I just again hope this is done now. I
Look,
hope this is much more about the elite and just great stories than it is about old grief. And yeah,
I will say before you jump on to the next thing, we all know how much I've shat on the Young Bucks for the last few months and everything that they've done and their over the top matches, their antics, their attempts to garner heat, I guess, have been, uh, for a lack of a better word, have been piss poor.
mm,
However, with this match that they have just had, I hope it's done because it was done good in this match. Everything that they had to accomplish and set through, like you said, it was muddy to get to this point, but they got to this point. This was the perfect way to stop it and just move on to other stuff. So I hope
mm.
we're done with the petty, drama and the muddy remarks and throwing little cheap stuff in. I hope we're beyond just being spot monkeys at this point and actually telling stories again, because this was good on their part. This was probably the best way they could come out of it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think they turned what started as a major negative into a positive, and going forward, hopefully this is
It
about
stays
great
positive.
stories. Yeah, and it stays positive. Next moment, inevitably, Will Ospreay beat Roderick Strong, and I can't say enough about Will Ospreay. Um, I'll say this, and then I'll toss it to you for your thoughts on Ospreay becoming the new champion. I'll just say that I watched his promo leading up to this when he was bloody and he was doing that single shot backstage after being bloodied up and telling Roderick Strong that his blood has now bonded him with that championship, and just the intensity and just the skill and the way he did that promo let me know then this is not only was this the right thing to do, but it definitely proved to me that Will Ospreay is one of the greatest all around wrestlers in the business, and it definitely made me feel number two that he's probably better than Kenny. Um, as far as promo, definitely.
Yes. I will say he is better promo wise than Kenny, but he's also very Kenny adjacent. And in the sense of he's not imitating him, but he's more aggressively emulating it, if that makes sense. Like it's not a rip off at all. You could tell he's not ripping Kenny off in any way, but you could tell he's emulating some of Kenny's tendencies, some of the things some of the ways he would act or some of the things he would do, just in a more aggressive tone.
Yeah.
Which works. For his style, it absolutely works. It fits. I would say don't change a thing. Now, as far as him becoming the champion and having the blood bond him with the title or whatever, like you said, the dude's one of the best in the world. Probably is the best wrestler in the world today. So to not have him as a champion is a crime. I would say, whether it's your world champion, mid card champion, whatever. If he's not representing the company in any capacity, it's sort of a travesty. So to see him actually represent this company and represent it well, because I think he very much will, is an exciting thing. And I'm eager to see what happens going forward. And, you know, no matter who he's in there with, he could be in there with a Roderick or a Kyle O'Reilly or an Adam Cole or maybe even a Kenny Omega down the line, and it's going to be a banger.
Yeah.
So, and now it's just a matter of seeing what they do with him going forward and what kind of magic they can create with him and the moments they can create.
Absolutely. And speaking about creating moments, I think that it was definitely a moment to see Willow get turned on and a moment to see Sasha Banks become a champion on the same night as Will Ospreay at Double or Nothing. Representing, as you say, the TBS Women's Championship. How do you feel about Chris Stat and Stokely turning on Willow, costing her the match with Sasha Banks? I'm sorry, Mercedes Moné. And how do you feel about Mercedes Moné being TBS championship, the champion? And yeah, just how do you feel about Mercedes Moné becoming TBS champion?
So Mercedes Moné for me hasn't been the greatest run, at least in my opinion. I feel like it's something hasn't hit for me. I don't want to say it's the name. I don't want to say it's, you know, it can't be the gimmick because the gimmick is pretty much the same, just flared up a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is. It's just it's not hitting right for me. I'm not saying it's terrible because it's not terrible. It's just it's not hitting for me the same as it did before. It's like when you're so used to eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with, you know, Jif peanut butter and somebody puts Skippy on there and it's like, you know, it's a peanut butter and jelly, but it's not hitting the same. Something's different here. I'm not sure what. It's the same. It's peanut butter, it's jelly, but something's different, and it's not hitting right. But still, again, like I said with Ospreay, it's the name, it's the character, it's the aura that comes behind this person. You need them, someone like them, in some way representing you.
Yeah.
Now, if I have to have Mercedes or a Willow or a Chris or one of those people representing my company as a champion, obviously I'm gonna pick Monet. But still, it doesn't. I got to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the turn goes, I ain't gonna lie. I laughed. I laughed like a little kid. I was like, all right, yeah, this is coming. You know, it's coming. And then Stokely's face as it's all going down, I'm like, oh, Stokely, you ducky ducky quack quack in the face. That was perfect. Like I liked it. Like, I could go on about it, but I'm just gonna end it there. I liked it, and I'm very happy to see what happens in the future with it because, man,
Yeah.
Stokely being up to no good is just good stuff.
Yeah. Nobody likes good Stokely. I will say that. I did appreciate the little bit of a promo they got backstage after the turn, where they asked him and Chris Stat why they did it, and Stokely starts off with, "Well, first of all, I'm a hater, and second of all, she had it coming." I like that she had it coming. Wasn't above me being a hater. That's
Look, at the end of the day, it's all good because, like I said, it was hilarious. He's like, look, I'm just a hater. I'll be honest.
like for real. I love the authenticity of the character. And it just makes for entertaining stuff. Um, I'm much more focused on that than I was on Mercedes Monet. I feel like going into it, Willow felt like a bigger deal than Mercedes Monet, and I heard people saying that, and it felt like that. It even felt like the turn was bigger than Mercedes becoming champion.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with you. Things just feel kind of off at the moment, and I'm trying to let her cook, but I've always felt like since she left, it's just never. I don't know. It feels kind of tensai, like it's very hyped, but I see it and go, that's still Sasha Banks, guys. Like I don't know.
It's like the water is not boiling anymore. It's just barely simmering.
Like I feel like I know you're surviving off name value.
Yeah,
And
it's the name without the name.
I haven't seen you go up against the people I need to see you go up against. And I haven't seen you do something that makes me go, okay, maybe she was on another level. It just feels like Sasha Banks throwing their weight around. And hopefully I kick out of that. But that does feel like what's going on currently. Um, but speaking about people I love to see come back and always give me that great feeling, and I don't mind throwing their weight around in whatever way possible. Adam Cole, at some point in Double or Nothing, goes to the ring and starts doing a promo for some reason. And he pulls out the double mask, and then a promo appears on screen of a trophy room that turns out to be none other than MJF's trophy room. And like Triple H in the 2000s, the MJF music hits, and there in a denim vest and a leather jacket is MJF. And I don't know if you can call that a spray tan. I'm not really sure what was going on there. I don't know if he went through a dust shoot or whatever, or if he was like, I don't know, coming from the shoot of the Iron Claw still, or I'm really not sure what was happening. It looked like he might have been one of the white guys that was playing one of the Spanish guys on West Side Story. But anyway, MJF returned and he beat down Adam Cole, kicked him right in the nuts, got him out of there, grabbed the microphone and did what he did best. He talked. And to paraphrase, to make it short and sweet, he basically said, I got a tattoo at AEW. I'm betting on myself. And I'm the wolf of wrestling because I'm not leaving. So MJF is AEW through and through. What are your thoughts? I'm gonna toss. I will spell it out, but I will leave it to you for final thoughts. How do you feel about MJF choosing AEW and returning to his original gimmick and his amazing or horrible spray tan?
I think he was watching Friends, and he got 4 number 2s all on his front. If you know, you know. But moving on from that, again, I'm not mad. I feel like if MJF was to go now, do I want to see MJF in WWE? Who wouldn't want to see that magic, right? Who wouldn't want to see him mix it up with, Seth Rollins, with Cody again, with Roman, with
LA Knight.
LA Knight, yeah. Getting in Hunter's face, getting in Sean's face. The possibilities
crazy.
Like the possibilities are endless, right? But where's MJF gonna get to be the best version of himself? Where's MJF gonna get to be the top guy? Where's MJF gonna get to be the guy who makes the most money? Because I don't care what anybody says, nobody's getting paid more than this guy. No legend that comes into AEW, no new talent, no established talent. Nobody is gonna make MJF money.
Oh yeah, know that. No, he came with the biggest bag.
Yes, he got first number 1 overall pick bag. He got Jaylen Brown contract extension money. However,
and one day when it's all over, we'll know about the true bidding war of 2024.
Yes, and what that number was, because I kind of want to know what that number was.
I kind of want to know.
Like, it's going to be an interesting one. But still, this was the best move for MJF. Now, how long is he there for? We don't know. I just hope it is the best time of his life, and I hope it is the best time of our life, because AEW is at its best when MJF is the best.
It was when I watched more consistently.
That's where that is where I will leave it for me. AEW is at its best when MJF is the best.
Yo, that's it. That's it for me. I like that line, and I don't want to. I really don't want to. I don't want to talk too much over that or try to emphasize that. I think that is the line to leave it on. That has been our Double or Nothing and King and Queen of the Ring review. If you guys are listening to us for the first time and you've made it this far, you should probably subscribe. I mean, I don't want to push it on you, but I mean, it's about an hour, man. I mean, if you're not subscribing now, what are you doing? Follow us on all platforms. We're Twitter, we're IG, we're Facebook, even we're TikTok. For however much longer that's going to be. We're even getting set up on LinkedIn. We're getting everywhere, man. And we have a website, dangerousjobsite.com. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you can probably, or even Spotify, you can probably find in the description even a link tree should you be, so curious as to look down there and find us on all of the things if we missed it. So if you made it this far, guys, thanks for listening. We really appreciate it. And join us next week, possibly Tuesday, Monday, for the next pod. And just stay tuned, man. We're always coming out with new stuff. That being said, I'm your boy, Stevie Jobber.
And I'm your boy, Dangerous Duke.
And please stay up, stay blessed. And I'm not going to do Duke's line. Duke, you got to say it.
And as always, stay dangerous.
People have been asking me, why, Eddie, why?